last spring we were talking and discussing and throwing around names, and one that came to mind initially was Tia Fuller. Me being a Berkeley alum, it's definitely a name that everyone knows, both in Berkeley and, of course, nationally and globally as well. And so I really wanted to see if we could forge that connection. So I made the initial email this fall, gave her the date, and said, this is what we could potentially do together. We could potentially play your charts and see what cool things we can offer our kids here at Needham High and Pollard. And to our surprise and our excitement, she said yes.
Being one of the few females in jazz, it was really nice to have someone to look up to that was also a female, and just seeing how successful she was is really, really cool.
She came in and we played some of the music that she'd written that we've been working on for a little while, and when she came in we were about to perform it, and she gave us a lot of advice and specifics on how to play it, how she wrote it, and what would be best for our band, and just was it was a great intensive kind of experience with her giving us tips and stuff, and it was cool having that come from someone of her level.
Boom, boom, bing, bing, bop. Don't worry about anything else, just play the bass drum for now. Yeah. Okay? 1, 2, 3. So you're doing.
It's absolutely amazing to have seen her walk into that middle school rehearsal. It was the first time any of the kids had seen her. It was the first day that I had met her in person. And to see everyone's demeanor snap into awe, right? There's this sense of wonderment, like, oh my God, she's here. She's in the flesh. And to see her dive in right away, it was just absolutely incredible. Our kids were gunning for her praise and her critiques. They were listening, they were hanging on to every word, and it really showed in their playing. Her critiques were positive, they were inspiring, and they were spot on exactly what they needed to hear. And so they were so quick to implement, and it's paid dividends in what they have accomplished as musicians in our program. And it's definitely going to pay off even more as the year progresses.
It was a really fun environment, meeting her and talking to her. She kind of made the class super energetic and lively, and it kind of put a new light on jazz and introduced me to a new way of improv and just being connected to the music in a more energetic way.
Make sure you're moving together and you all are feeling each other's energy. Okay, 1, 2, 1, good.
incredible. Getting the opportunity to work with Tia Fuller was just an amazing experience. We learned so much, and definitely as a sax player, like being able to look up to someone like Tia and then you know like listen to her music for months before she actually came, and then see her perform was just an absolute amazing opportunity. I think the sax section as a whole really benefited from her clinic, and then also the jazz band was just we all like a like a like a spirit inside everyone, I think, sort of was awakened by her presence that the band really hadn't had before. So it was just a great experience overall.
We've had so many artists come in. It's not like they're spaced out, but it's just that, you know, sort of like they know that we're sort of starstruck. And I think there's sort of a barrier there where it's sort of harder to communicate and harder to sort of have that sort of conversation with them. But I mean, when Tia Fuller came in the room, it was like having a middle school band director there. I mean, she's so great with kids. I mean, she's so great with us. It's just like, it's an experience. She's amazing, she's funny, she's talented.
For me personally, as an educator, it's amazing to get to see someone at that caliber of musicianship who is also just an incredible educator in her own right. It's not every day that you find musicians that are at that level, but also master educators. And yet we found that with Tia. And so a lot of what she was doing and how she approached the learning environment, it just was really inspiring to me personally.
Well, it was very exciting because Tia Fuller is a very big deal in the jazz world. She has performed with a lot of really big names, and it was really an incredible experience because she brought so much energy really to the band. She's so experienced with jazz, and she had so much insight into what we can do, what we can improve on, what we were doing well. It was a really great experience. And that was in addition to just being cool to talk to someone who's so experienced and has so much like talent.
Well, it's important for kids in Needham, a community that's majority white and majority affluent, to get to see sort of windows into the experiences of others. And that's kind of what jazz is built on. Jazz is built on the fundamental Black experience here in America. And so it's really been this sort of huge part of my philosophy that kids everywhere are exposed to the wonder that is jazz music. And bringing in someone like Tia, a Black female, an absolutely storied resume of a composer and band leader and saxophonist. She's a culture bearer of this music.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
There are so many musicians out there who play the genre quite well, but they aren't culture bearers. But we found that with her. And so I thought it was incredibly important that we bring someone like Tia in who really lives and breathes this music and the history behind it, and have the kids see that for themselves, because I think there's a lot that can come out of that, particularly in this community with these demographics.
She definitely teaches in a different way, and I felt that it was a lot more like free, and I could kind of like express myself differently than how I usually do, where I'm just kind of playing what's on the page.
The best part was probably some of the one-on-one coaching from her, because I was given a lot of really good advice, and I think that it helped a lot with my performance with her music. And it was also just a really cool atmosphere to have her there, because this music we've been playing for so long, it was really cool to have her there, and we could get tips on playing it from the source of like who wrote it.
I think definitely just like seeing her improvise and like seeing the like cool and like wacky stuff she did, which kind of motivated me to like think of my own improv differently than the way I've already been doing it. And it was just like, it was crazy and it was so fun.
Man, the best part, I would definitely say the performance. The performance was so rewarding, and we had worked on that music for so long before she actually came. So to have it down and really tight actually when the performance came was awesome. And then to play for all our family and friends was just a great experience.
In general, the best experience was getting to perform with her. I mean, the clinic was great. We got to spend time with her, and we got to hear her stories. But when you're up on stage with her, it's like we were both like completely different people. You know, we were both just, I guess, sharing the music together, and that's not something you get to do every day with Tia Fuller.
The best part was, it's tough to say. I mean, the whole experience was really cool. I think the best part was for me getting to hear Tia's solos just because she was so just fantastic on saxophone. But I think for the band, I mean, as a whole, I can't speak for the band, but I think the best part for all of us was getting to hear her feedback and having her insight into what we can do better and improve as a band.
1, 2, and actually this is also in the bones and horns. We don't want to think so heavy. We're slowing down. We never want to sacrifice time for notes. We always
Well, we couldn't have brought Tia without the amazing generosity of two wonderful organizations. One of them is an organization that helps us out quite often. It's our own booster organization, Friends of Music, here in Needham. And the other organization is also incredibly generous and helps out various departments all throughout the district, and that's the Needham Education Foundation, NEF. So we were really fortunate to have put out some grant applications and gotten some successful funds from that, and we were able to use that to bring in this global phenomenon of an artist.
It's just a really fun experience, and getting to see someone that like went through that same process as you of going through high school and going through like the music department and seeing like you can actually do something with that. It's really cool.
They provide us with opportunities like this for jazz band and band students to grow and develop musically and become better players by meeting these great professionals who teach us and show us like what to do.
Experiences like these are really important to us, and it was really helpful and really nice to have this kind of experience, which a lot of band programs definitely wouldn't get, and I feel really lucky to be in this program to be able to have access to those kind of resources, because it's really nice to be able to do these kind of things, and it's really fun.
I think that having a jazz band and a really great jazz band like we have at the high school is important because it gets kids involved with music, and getting a big star like Tia Fuller, that's something that really just it puts a spotlight on the jazz band and the hard work we put in, and it gets us motivated to really continue practicing so that one day we can display the same amount of talent that she had. So I think that it was a really, really great investment on the town. I know I'm a little biased since I'm in the jazz band, but I mean, again, I can't speak for everyone in the band, but I feel like I can say pretty confidently that most of us thought it was a really great experience getting to talk with her and hear from her.
I think grants like this are important because they allow opportunity and learning that wouldn't be possible without this money. For example, without Tia, we would have never had the opportunity to get the profound wisdom that she offered and the skill that she was able to exemplify for the rest of us and show what is possible as a musician. She's incredibly talented and successful, and the fact that we were able to bring her here and the fact that the grant made it possible just speaks to the fact of the importance of that grant.
I would absolutely love to do something like this in the future. I mean, this has proven to be absolutely incredible of an experience for our kids, for us teachers, for the community at large. And I think that in itself is reason enough to want to duplicate it. And so thank you to NEF and FOM for funding this amazing opportunity for our kids. And I think they'll be hearing from us fairly soon.
I mean, I can't think of a word stronger than necessary. It's just, they're so important to have for like young players like us. I mean, when you look at the professional level, you have like ensemble groups like the Young Stars of Jazz, getting to play with people like Wynton Marsalis, or like, getting to play at Jazz and Marziak. It's the tradition of mentorship, and I guess if you think about music like a trade, it's like we're the apprentices, and it's important to have someone, just light years ahead of where we are, so we can see what's possible. I guess it's sort of, we get to see that there's not a small ceiling in music, and that however hard you try, you can really go as far as you want in music.